I, a 30-year-old female, have been dating my now ex-fiancé, a 35-year-old male, for 5 years. From my knowledge, our relationship was perfect. He was a gentleman, a sweetheart, kind and genuine, all the things I ever wanted. A little over a week ago, I started feeling pretty sick and nauseous. The possibility of being pregnant really didn't even enter my mind, as I'll explain. But I took a test anyway, and it came back positive. Took another to be sure, and yeah, I'm pregnant. It hurts because I was genuinely so happy at the news, just being really giddy and excited. For context, my ex-fiancé has little to almost no sperm. Not sure of the medical term, but his testicles are too hot, basically. My ex has always wanted to be a dad. That's been his dream since I met him. And when we both had fertility testing, when we started trying, he was crushed learning about his infertility. He went on a pretty bad spiral, briefly, with alcohol that was hard to watch. Anyway, you can understand how excited I was to tell him all of this. I left work early and headed home. I tried phoning him, but didn't get any answer. He was in our bed, having intimacy with an escort. I genuinely can't even explain the heartache I felt. Walking through the house, looking for him, and hearing them together, the absolutely disgusting things she was saying about me. Apparently, she got off on the fact that he was cheating. I lost my shoot, crying and yelling, dragged her out by her hair, and just started screaming at my ex. He was apologizing, saying he didn't mean to, that he was sorry and that it was just sex and that he loved me. The freaking cheater handbook. I was so angry and hurt. I really shouldn't have, but I just blurted out that I was pregnant and would be booking a visit to the clinic ASAP. He didn't believe me at first, so I threw my tests at him. He started crying a little, then asked if I cheated. I told him it didn't matter either way because I'd be terminating it, and left. He's been messaging me constantly, showing up to my parents' place, apologizing and begging for me not to terminate. It hurts because I wanted this baby too. It's not like it's an easy decision, but I can't keep it. I know that I'll always be tied to him for the rest of my life, and I refuse to let that happen. I'm grateful for my baby because they helped me find out about my ex cheating, but I just can't keep it. My ex has just been sleeping in his car outside of my parents' house. He caught me one time on the way to work, and he said that I don't even have to be in his life or the baby's, that I can sign away all parental rights and to just please let him have this opportunity, but I mentally can't. I know that if I kept it, I wouldn't be able to just give it away. I booked an appointment next week, earliest I can do. So am I the idiot? I feel a bit morally conflicted, especially since this might be his only chance of having biological kids, which he desperately wants. Edit. Wow, sorry, didn't expect to have so many responses. I'm a bit emotional and it's given me a lot to think about. I'd just like to add that I'm in no way doing this for revenge or for retaliation. That's not my thought process at all. It's purely just me, and I don't really care if it sounds selfish. But I don't feel like I'll be happy if I have this child. I'm thinking about myself, but I genuinely can't express how much I love him. So the hurt of possibly ruining this chance for him, especially when I saw how distraught he was when he was told that it's unlikely he'll have kids, is a lot to deal with. Edit 2. Sorry. I can't reply as much as I'd like to, as there's a lot. I only expected a couple of replies, so it's a bit overwhelming. I'm not in the best state, so there are some things I missed when writing my post, but I'm just too tired right now. Thank you for all of your words. I'm going to log out since it's a bit much. Update. I didn't mean for this to be a political post, which it turned into apparently, but I didn't expect this to blow up so much. I can't really reply to everyone, but I'll clarify some things and end it before leaving. I'm considering and baby unaliving because he cheated, yes. It's in no way an attempt to get revenge or be spiteful. If it was, I wouldn't have posted this. I would have just done it. My dilemma was more so me feeling like shoot, knowing how badly he wanted a child of his own and how I might be taking that away from him. So no, for the final time, I am not aborting to get back at him. Regarding the escort, I say escort loosely because that's what I'm told. But besides from what he's messaging me that I'm not replying to, I have zero context. I don't need the context, and I honestly don't care anymore. Based on what a lot of you are saying regarding her, If she wasn't an escort and his girlfriend, great, she can have him. If she was an escort, then yeah, it freaking sucks that 5 years together would make him seek an escort to insult me like that. I haven't aborted, not sure how some people missed that point, but my appointment is next week. I am still pregnant. I haven't cheated. Some people assumed so, based on my lack of reply. I wished I did, because at least this show would be easier. But no, I haven't. The baby is his. I said it doesn't matter because at the time it didn't, whether he was the father or not. I'd still be aborting. Think that's it for the clarifications. I don't really care about adding anything else since I got the answer to my initial question. Thank you all for the replies and comments. Unfortunately, I've had a couple of messages, group message requests, with some shoot stuff, people calling me a baby unalived, a beast. Whatever, it's expected. But thanks to all of the kind-hearted people who took the time to post a comment/message me. I probably have read it, just not replied. I didn't really think that this would cause a stir, but it did. Wasn't my intention at all. I'll probably delete my account as I got my answer, but as of now I'm delaying the baby unaliving. It's not that I'm not going through with it, I just think it's a good idea for me to think things over a bit more regarding my emotions. Maybe speak to someone more professional, you know? Anyway, thanks. You've all helped me a lot, more than I thought you would anyway. My heart feels a bit less heavy. Have a good evening. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If you have this baby, you will be tied to your cheating ex for the rest of your life. You've broken up with him. Why would you want him to have access to you in your life permanently? You'd have to co-parent, decide visitation schedules, navigate new relationships around his opinion, to name just a few things. Cut him out of your life and sever any ties permanently. He had an escort in your bed. Is this a person you'd want around forever? Not the idiot. P.S. Get a full STD panel done. Comment 2. Not the idiot. If he booked an escort to your home and she was talking like that about you, it's because he wanted her too. If he's comfortable acting this out in your bed, this isn't the first time. If this isn't something you can accept and move on from, and no one could expect you to, then don't bring a baby into this situation. Move on. Find someone who will treat you right and have the family you want then. You're not an incubator for a man who doesn't respect you. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support and advice on my last post. It's been a tense couple of weeks, and I've got some updates for you. First off, I went through with the appointment. It was tough, but I'm certain it was the right decision for me. I've been trying to move on, but my ex has been relentless. He's still camping outside my parents' house, and it's been a nightmare. Now here's where things get crazy. My ex's persistence to talk to me led to a confrontation that I never saw coming. He finally cornered me one day, and in a moment of weakness, I agreed to hear him out. He confessed that the escort wasn't just a one-time thing. He'd been seeing her for months, and the things she said about me were fed to her by him. I was floored. The man I thought I knew was a stranger to me. But wait, there's more. Remember how I mentioned his infertility issues? Well, turns out he'd been lying about that too. He never had any tests done. He made it all up because he was scared of commitment and fatherhood. I couldn't believe it. All this time, I thought we were in this together, but he was living a lie. The lies kept unraveling. I found out that the alcohol spiral he had wasn't because of his supposed infertility. It was guilt over his affair. He'd been using his condition as a cover for his cheating, thinking I'd never suspect him of being able to father a child. I was disgusted, but I had to stay strong. I couldn't let him see how much he'd hurt me. I kept my distance and focused on healing. My parents were my rock through all of this. They helped me stay away from him and supported my decision to terminate the pregnancy. Then, justice came in the most unexpected way. One day, I saw the escort leaving his car looking upset. I later learned from a mutual friend that she dumped him after finding out about his lies and manipulation. She had no idea he was engaged and felt betrayed by his deceit. My ex was left alone with no one to turn to. He tried to reach out to me again, but I was done. I blocked him on everything and started to rebuild my life without him. It's been tough, but I'm getting there. I've started therapy, and it's helping me process everything that's happened. I'm focusing on myself now, and it feels good to take control of my life again. I felt sorry for my ex's young wife when she confessed missing her old life, so I met her for coffee, but the truth left me speechless. Fake names and throwaway. So my 36-year-old female ex-husband Tom left me for his work wife Tammy, who is 25 years old. This happened 2 years ago, and I never liked her even before I found out about their relationship. The first time I met her at a work event, she told me, while I was heavily pregnant with my youngest, "You better up your wife game or I might steal him off you." Well, 3 months later, she did. This woman literally came with him to help pack the day he moved out and tried to have a one-on-one conversation on how she wanted our relationship going forward because she was going to be in my life. Then she said, as a joke, "I told you I'd steal him away. Not gonna lie. I'm thankful she did, because when my ex made a comment about her being 23 and her brain not being fully developed, it gave me the ick so bad it turned my heartbreak into relief. I got everything in the divorce because I got him in his affair fog and gave 50-50 custody for our kids' sake. I'm civil for the sake of my kids so we can both attend events without drama. But other than that, I honestly couldn't care less about them." Around June, Tammy came instead of Tom for the pickup and practically skipped towards me to show off her engagement ring, saying she wanted me as a bridesmaid along with my daughters for something I didn't catch because I was in a rush to get our cat to the vet. She got upset because I just said, but according to Tom's texts a few hours later, her whole conversation upset her. The same happened again in September when she told me she was pregnant, which again, my zero fricks given upset her. In December, when she told me the second I opened the car door, "Tom's finally getting a son," I sarcastically replied, "I'm sure Lord Tom's excited for an heir to take over his lands and titles," which caused drama too because Tom's family found it hilarious when Tammy was bad-mouthing me. December was the last time I saw her till today at drop-offs with Tom. As they approached me, I noticed Tammy didn't look pregnant anymore. Tammy tearfully said, "We lost the baby." I didn't answer, just told Tom our second daughter has a birthday party tomorrow at 3, and the oldest has gymnastics at 5. Tammy literally screamed at me that I was a heartless witch and bitter. Then she grabbed the girls' bags and walked away. Tom said I could show a little humanity towards Tammy, and regardless of my feelings, she is my kid's stepmother. I told Tom I don't care about what he's going through because outside of our kids, I don't care about them. And I don't owe Tammy anything, especially pity. He called me a jerk along with other things and left. Usually this wouldn't bother me, but my ex-in-laws, with whom I have a good relationship, have told me I should have shown Tammy some empathy and at the very least pretended to care for the sake of the kids. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Died laughing at Lord Tom's heir and his lands and titles. You have such a good attitude toward all of this. You're not a jerk. You're not her friend. An empty, "I'm so sorry" wouldn't have hurt, but for the sake of being your genuine self, whoops, that didn't come out of your mouth. They can deal. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Ask them if Tammy showed sympathy when she joked about stealing him, destroyed your family, skipped to show you the engagement ring, and so happy to report she was finally giving Tom a son? No? So why should you feel anything for her? Except maybe rage for what a bee she sounds like. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my last post. It's been a busy few days, and I've got an update for you all. So, after the whole screaming match with Tammy and Tom calling me names, I thought that would be the end of it for a while. But nope, things got even more intense. The next day, at my daughter's birthday party, guess who shows up uninvited? Tammy. And she's not alone, she brought Tom's parents with her. They've always been kind to me, even after the divorce, and I guess they wanted to play peacemakers. Tammy tried to apologize for her outburst, but it was so fake. She was doing that thing where someone says sorry, but really isn't. She kept going on about how hard the miscarriage has been on her and Tom, and I just stood there, trying to keep the peace for the sake of the party. But then, she dropped a bombshell. She said she knew I was still in love with Tom, and that's why I was being so cold. I couldn't believe she had the nerve to say that to me in front of everyone. I was about to lose it, but my oldest daughter pulled me aside. She told me she didn't want her birthday ruined by their drama. That hit me hard. I realized this wasn't about me or Tammy, it was about my kids. So I took a deep breath and did the unthinkable. I told Tammy I was sorry for her loss. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to say, but I did it for my daughter. The look on Tammy's face was priceless. She didn't expect that at all. The party went on without any more drama, but the next day, Tom's mom called me. She said she was proud of how I handled things and that she knew it wasn't easy. She also let slip that Tammy had been having a hard time fitting in with their family. Apparently, she's been trying to change everything about how they do family gatherings, and it's been causing a lot of tension. I felt a little bad for Tammy then. It must be hard trying to step into a new family and feeling like you don't belong. But then I remembered all the things she did to me, and the sympathy didn't last long. A couple of days later, I ran into Tom at the grocery store. It was awkward, to say the least. He thanked me for what I said to Tammy at the party, and I could tell he was sincere. He looked tired, like he hadn't been sleeping well. I guess the miscarriage hit him harder than he let on. We ended up talking for a bit, mostly about the kids. It was the first real conversation we'd had since the divorce. I found out that he's been struggling at work and that Tammy's been putting pressure on him to start trying for another baby right away. He seemed overwhelmed by it all. It was strange. For a moment, I saw the man I used to be married to, not the guy who left me for a younger woman. I felt a twinge of something. Not love, but maybe pity? I don't know. It was confusing. Anyway, I wished him well and we went our separate ways. I thought that would be the end of it. But when I got home, there was a message from Tammy. She wanted to meet for coffee to talk. I debated whether to go or not, but curiosity got the better of me. We met up the next day, and it was the most awkward coffee date ever. Tammy was trying so hard to be friendly, but it was clear she was still upset with me. She kept talking about how she wanted us to be friends, for the kids' sake. I just nodded along, not really sure what to say. Then, out of nowhere, she started crying. She said she felt like she was in over her head with the whole stepmom thing and that she missed her old life. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there while she cried into her latte. When she finally calmed down, she thanked me for listening and left. It was the most bizarre encounter I've ever had with her. My brother blew $600, and now my family wants me to pay his debts. But when I confronted Mom, her secret shook everything up. Ridiculous or not? Family holding a promise against me from when I was 13 years old. Long story, so I'll try to condense it. My brother, 33 years old, and I received an inheritance from my father. At the age of 25, the money is released to you if you want or left in a trust for future generations. My brother has been harassing the money for as long as he's had access, completely and effectively wasting over $600,000 on cars, houses, debt, etc. He now has almost nothing left, and debt to the IRS from not paying taxes on those transactions. He has a good job supporting his family and has worked out a plan for his debt. I'm pretty proud of him. When I, 23 years old, was 13, our family house burned down. My brother had his money, which he then paid for the roof to be put on. I, at the time, promised to pay him back in the future. Now, 10 years later, my family is bringing up this scared child's promise and saying I owe my brother $30,000. I have barely used my money, not even getting a car all these years and only paying monthly expenses. So I am sitting at a little more than $1 million, which I'm terrified to touch. I have some dental issues I'm just now getting to because I've been so hesitant to spend. Maybe the trauma of seeing your brother waste over $500,000. I don't know. For the last 5 years, I've lived in FL. My brother texted maybe twice, never visited. He has not brought this up to me. Only my mom, who insists that I am being a bad person by not standing by my promise, even going so far as to say I was acting as an adult at 13. So it counts as an enforceable promise. My mom makes it sound like my brother and his girlfriend are relying on this money and talk about it all the time. Am I the jerk? Edit 1. Thank you all for the valuable input and suggestions. Couple things to clear up. My biological father was the one who left the money to us. My brother is not his. As a matter of fact, he disowned my brother before his death. My stepdad is a disabled vet. I consider him my dad, so sorry for any confusion. The total of the roof is $30,000 from what they are telling me. I have no receipts or proof, which I am supposedly fully responsible for. My brother did not receive his money until after he was 25. We had been using insurance funds until then, when it was painfully clear it wouldn't be enough. No, I have no idea why my parents didn't take out a loan or something to finish the house themselves. Again, thank you all so much. I needed opinions from outside of the family. I will not be continuing this conversation with my mother. The only person I will talk to about it any further will be my brother. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your age plus the fact that you felt like you were backed into a corner should negate that promise. You were coerced by the circumstances, and you were a child. You should not have to pay for the mistakes of the golden child. Taxes go hand in hand with money. It sucks, but that's our reality. Comment 2. Not the idiot. That debt belongs to your mother or whoever owned the house. Don't put off things like dental work because you're afraid to spend. You've gone too far in the opposite direction from your brother to the point that you're hoarding money that could be improving your life. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, back with an update after 2 rough weeks. Thanks for all the comments and advice on my last post. They really helped me navigate this mess. So after I decided to only talk to my brother about the whole paying him back for the roof situation, things got pretty heated. I called him up and we had a long talk. Turns out, he didn't even remember the promise I made when I was 13. He was shocked when I told him about the pressure our mom was putting on me. He admitted that he had been talking to her about his financial struggles, but he never expected her to drag me into it. My brother confessed that after squandering his inheritance, he's been trying to turn his life around. He's been working hard at his job and has been making decent money. The debt to the IRS is still there, but he's got a payment plan in place. He's been so focused on fixing his own mistakes that he hadn't realized the stress our mom was putting on me. Now here's where things get really crazy. My brother started digging into our family finances to understand why our mom was so desperate for the money. He discovered that she had been hiding a massive credit card debt from us. She had been using the cards to fund her lifestyle after the insurance money ran out and before my brother got his inheritance. She was counting on my money to bail her out. When we confronted her about it, she broke down. She admitted to everything and apologized for trying to manipulate me into paying for her mistakes. It was a jaw-dropping moment, realizing that the pressure wasn't really about the roof or my brother, but about her own financial irresponsibility. In the midst of all this, I've been dealing with my dental issues. I finally got the courage to use some of my inheritance to take care of my health. It was a big step for me, but I realized that I can't live in fear of spending money when it's necessary. I'm learning to manage my finances responsibly, unlike how my brother initially handled his. My brother and I have grown closer through this ordeal. He's been visiting me in FL, and we've been talking more in the past 2 weeks than we have in years. He's been supportive of my decision to take care of my health and has even offered to help me learn more about financial management. As for my mom, she's now working with a financial advisor to get her debt under control. She's also attending counseling to address her spending habits. It's going to be a long road for her, but at least she's taking steps in the right direction. The confrontation with my mom was intense, but it cleared the air. My brother and I agreed that the past is the past, and we're both adults now, capable of making our own financial decisions. We've decided to leave the promise I made as a child behind us. It's not hanging over my head anymore, and I feel like a weight has been lifted. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.